Sandbag back extensions. So with this, you should be familiar with the pick, the lap, and almost like trying to shoulder it if you haven't already shouldered it, like attempting to, or familiar with shouldering it. This is a great exercise to teach you like how to shoulder it if you haven't mastered it, or just kind of like becoming more comfortable with shouldering it and heavier sandbags. So the way I like to teach this one is we basically get it up to the chest. We're going to hug it in tight. There's lots of kind of hugging strength required, and that's a really necessary kind of technique to develop and get stronger in position of for sandbags. And then after that, we're just going into this kind of hyper extension. And I do want you to kind of really exaggerate the hips going forward and rocking onto your toes, because you're going to have to do that, especially when the sandbags get heavy. You might get away with it with the lighter sandbags, but practice it with these lighter sandbags for repetitions, which is the idea of this movement, so that when you get onto those heavy ones, you're familiar with what you actually really need to do because it's so heavy. So I'll demonstrate from the side. So we're picking it, lapping it really high up into the chest, as high as you can go. From there, we're going into that hyperextended position. Rocking backwards, forwards. Getting used to loading the back. And you can spend time there. Of course, if you're going to your toes, that's a bit tricky, but flat-footed, you can spend a bit more time there because you're a bit more balanced. So kind of two versions I've demonstrated, a bit more explosive and a bit more static. Try both. The more explosive one is when you're a bit more comfortable with the idea of throwing a heavy bag up onto your shoulders. Because from this position here, that's where you have to almost wriggle it around, get nice and tall to finish the shouldering. That's why this back extension is so useful. So that's the sandbag back extension.